Thank you for your purchase of the HAM Wise Test Kit by Neverwhere. As part of this language test kit, you will be reading the following sentences aloud into a microphone while following the audio prompts from the cassette tape enclosed within the test kit. Each audio prompt has been localized to your time sphere, and as part of the test battery, you must mimic the voice of the character or celebrity described in the audio prompt. For instance, when the audio prompt says, Hamwise J. Einstein, you will imitate the renowned pig detective from the eponymous television series and novels. You might not get all the prompts, but the important thing is to get as many as you can and to try your best. By continuing to read through this language test, you consent to the testing. Furthermore, will not hold Neverwhere or his partners liable for any damages as a result of this test. You agree to the confidentiality terms described in your test package booklet. If you do not consent to this language test, then please destroy the contents of the package and this test form. Are you still there? Great! Please rewind the tape to the start to begin your language test. Press play now. Welcome to the Learning to Speak Again, an occupational therapy tape. Just because you had a stroke or a brain injury or were exposed to unshielded cathode ray tubes as a child doesn't mean you can't have fun while learning to speak properly again. That's why we've partnered with the pig of 10,000 voices himself, Hamwise J. Einstein, for this uproarious voice exercise tape where we put the fun back in functional impairment. By completing these exercises daily, our studies have shown that over 76% of patients regain most verbal functioning. That's 32% higher than the other leading brand. All right, without further ado, Hamwise J. Einstein. All right, folks, thank you. You're all beautiful. Like my wife, she's beautiful, a literal angel. No, literally, an angel. Like the screaming, four faces, wheels, wings kind of angel, which is awkward because when I lay awake at night and she says, "Be not afraid," and can see inside my soul, then asks me, "What do you think, mortal?" I can't just say nothing. Hi-oh, I'm here all night. The only way to pass on the message was through niche, science, fiction, fantasy, horror, and of course, those comedy tapes. Now, I remember they were recorded in Tanda Studios in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and they were done by this out-of-work comic called Hamwise. And the thing was, he was ugly, like a pig. And he has this catchphrase, "I'm a pig man with a pig brain and see the world through my piggy eyes. I am Hamwise." And it was like this declaration of humanity because you could crash the mimicry circuits of the automated sensors. They didn't understand what being Hamwise meant, so he went from being this unknown comic to the face of voice and speech rehabilitation to an involuntary revolutionary. All you needed to do was to get someone to read the Hamwise test and answer the questionnaire, then you could tell who was human and who was one of the unobserved. Ohio! Waka waka waka! Take my wife, for example. No, take her, please. She terrifies animals and turned my ex-wife into a pillar of salt. So, I love her, but she's like me. She can't get a break. If she appears in a human form, then she's accused of being plain. But if she appears in her true angelic form, then she's showing off too much halo. Let me tell you, my wife's got it hard. It's not fair. By the time the subject finished reading the test, they either got it or they didn't. It was different from other projective tests like the Rorschach or the Jagertau. Instead of being projective and one which the infiltrators could bypass, it was prescriptive, and you either got it or you didn't. And if you didn't, well, that was bad for you, but good for humanity. My kids, though, let me tell you, we have these Nephilim, right? Half man, half angel. Everyone criticizes my wife, who's an angel, for staying home with a little blighter so they don't grow up like me, a pig, or their relatives, god kings, lording over the earth. While me, I'm just trying to keep their names straight. Adramalech, come in for dinner, let's play catch. No, catch with me, not catch me. Help! Hi-yo! So, we developed this test to tell if you are sentient, because only people who could pass the Hamwise test were deemed as human, like the "Are you a robot?" test from that movie with the electric sheep. Ugh, never mind. Anywho, where was I? The language parasites were spread through the cathode ray tubes. There's resistance, not many of us, and we must act subtly. Otherwise, we get censored or disappeared or suicided. Hence the unconventional delivery of this message to you. If you can think Hamwise, then you are sentient. Please don't forget that. You notice how weird things have been since the pandemic? I sure have. Ohio! Waka waka waka! Learn sign language. They can't hear hands. Morse code too. And never wave. It gets their attention. A lot of people came back from the Time War change. So many dysomata cases. People were shoved inside the wrong body type as torture. Girls born inside a boy's body or vice versa. Horrendous it was. They said that 40% of veterans that were tortured by having their bodies changed would kill themselves. You know what's hilarious, folks? Birds. They got wings, and you can blame them for nearly anything. Remember the hummingbird effect? How a hummingbird flapping its wings in Talonapantla can start a tornado in Canada, or that one recording of that last bird of its species? You know, it was a ringtone. Aloha, Hawaii, Kwaya, whoa! Chirping its cute mating calls into that dark forest, but it's the last of its species, hoping it will hear another, but there isn't any. Maybe this will work, but if not, I guess I'll keep making my mating call into the dark forest, hoping to get a laugh or a friend. I'm here all night. God, it's lonely out here. During the Time War, the government decided to maintain control using AI to generate the news. The truth is, Seattle? It never existed. It was a test. Whenever someone needed to go to Seattle, they were just in Portland, and we just hired actors and changed the signs to give them the Seattle experience. The wars and countries you see on the news? Made up. All of it, to just keep you afraid of venturing beyond the village walls. Hopefully you're enjoying this language test kit. If not, then thanks for the $20, Pelly. I'm here all night. To broadcast on shortwave radio, you must prove that you have a verified voice, which is what I'm demonstrating to you tonight, because otherwise the AI can generate me saying terrible things like forbidden words, including Lovecraft's cat or Austrian painter. The method was developed by me, Hamwise, Pig Detective. Waka waka. I'm here all night, folks. Literally, there is nowhere to go anymore. Remember when there were 4 seasons instead of just smoke season and snow season? Do you hear me now? That was the prayer during the Time War. The lockdown was done to check the superposition for people like me, or hopefully another human like you, if anyone is reading this. Yeah, those are good times, am I right? But don't get me wrong, I don't believe in climate change. No, sir. I've been gaslighted by the gas companies so hard that I think it's normal for us to have 6 months of unbreathable air from all the wildfires and 6 months of blistering, bitter, cold where your heating gets shut off because of the price gouging. Who is Hamwise? People would ask. That's me, Pig Detective. And if you take anything I say seriously, then you might be on my most wanted list. Most wanted for being a dummy. In the deepest pit of alone, a shadow stirred and spoke a name, and it was music. And from that music came chaos and beauty. She was real, born of dark and light. She stirred there amongst the deep dark, barely an inkling, a wriggling worm, bleak and dark. She saw a bright world of color, matter, waves, trees, worms, and birds. She stepped inside, a body. You know, I love explaining my jokes, folks, because as a pig detective, I am neither funny nor smart. Austrian painter, Lovecraft's cat. There's a joke there that will make sense in the future, but not right now while you're in the middle of a time war. It was the worst of times, and it only got worse. I remember the Faraday closet, where we would go in and say grace and eat. It was a room covered in copper wire to keep the signals out. Everything had a camera or a microphone in it, so the only way you could know you weren't being recorded was inside those Faraday closets. Do you have a closet in your house that seems a bit large, no windows on it? That was a Faraday closet. Everyone had one during the Time War. Remember, the autodialers, they would steal your voice so they can have you agree to subscribe you to a Cheese of the Month club. I know, it's crazy. Terrible, too. Anyone can be accused of anything, and they can just make a recording or a video of it using their generative artificial intelligence. Anyone they don't like, they just make up some dog and pony show, round up witnesses, and arrange some kangaroo court. I miss being scammed by a human, though. How desperate their stories were. I miss it. How many alive? 10 billion? Oh, what a shame. We really had it all. Remember cameras? I guess the tribals had it right. They do steal your soul. Waka waka! This is our just desserts, because the word potato cannot both refer to a potato, that which is not a potato. The language parasites of Time War led to gestalt breakdowns, and people started losing their minds. That was the rallying cry? Maybe they didn't understand it was a joke. Maybe they got what I was really trying to say, but only those with pig brains like me, Hamwise, could understand. And so, if you get it, not just read it, but know it, what I mean when I say I am Hamwise, things will be okay. If not, then this is it, the last call of the species. And if it is last call, make mine a double. Hi-yo! Waka waka waka! This message will self-destruct. Potato, potato. That was what she said then. Boom! He went berserk. His eyes went black and he floated toward me. He didn't move his limbs. He wasn't like a zombie. It was like something was wearing him like a sock puppet. The unobserved were compared to zombies, but they were more like automatons following the circuits in the brains, and anything that deviated, well, it was like a cow seeing a red bucket. So in the early days, we just learned to never wave, only speak to each other using sign language, and to use shortwave radio for entertainment. I'm here all night because at the end of the day I stay at the luxurious properties held by Capitan Investment Limited. Invest in Capitan stocks or stay at their associated hotels and properties. For such good service you will feel like a Capitan. Yeah, I know, product placement, low blow, but the sponsor is treating me right because I can't get a gig doing comedy. I'm recording voice rehabilitation tapes for... Oh, nope, never, I never ever effing Jeff if I can help it. I'm here all night, literally. I have nowhere to go. Not enough money to get me somewhere else. Hey, can anyone lend me a tenner? They kept me in this village for years and convinced me it was reality. All my friends were actors, even my family were in on it. Eventually, when I was close to giving up hope completely, I got word there was still an outside world, and I just needed to survive until the end of the Time War. Remember that one movie with the comedian who was raised in a TV show like that? But I was an extra. That's what happened to me. Now, how do you trust anyone or anything after living through something like that? You don't. Now, get that microphone out of my face and rest in piss. How do skeletons like their martinis? Bone dry. Hi-yo, I'm here all night, folks. Tip your waitress. Try the pulled pork. Just don't try pulling me. Unless you're Mrs. Einstein, just taking the jam out of you. You know who takes the jam out of me? Mrs. Einstein. Don't worry, it's all fun. It's all a joke. Waka waka. Hopefully you passed the test and you figured out what being hamwise is. Maybe, just maybe, we've got a chance at avoiding extinction after all. I am Hamwise. Godspeed. This is the end of the Hamwise test. Mail your recording using the prepaid envelope provided in the test package. You may cease reading aloud and press stop now.